Have you ever wondered who or what truly orchestrates the universe? Is it God as we imagine, an omnipotent distant creator? Or is it something far more personal, a spiritually evolved being whose journey mirrors our own, yet whose responsibilities dwarf our comprehension? What if the master architect of our existence isn't an abstract deity, but a deeply evolved consciousness, carefully selected from a universe before ours? In this video, I will attempt to dissect who Source is, its motives and purpose, and the ultimate reason for it creating our universe. The ideas in this video are largely theoretical, but they are based on the works of people that have made significant contributions to the area of spiritual science. Yes, I call it spiritual science. People like Liz Cross, Tom Campbell, Dr. Michael Newton, and others. Before we begin, ladies and gentlemen, consider this. Our universe didn't explode randomly into existence. Instead, it was purposely initiated. Could it have been by a conscious being? A being who, much like ourselves, experienced countless incarnations, challenges, and spiritual awakenings before ascending to oversee this vast reality. This being we shall call Source, not an impersonal force, but a profoundly wise, spiritually advanced entity chosen intentionally from the previous universe's source. Because yes, just like a heartbeat, universes exist one after another. At least that's what the research tells us. And you could call it a simulation, a projection, even a hologram, or simply reality. Suit yourself. But whatever it is, it smacks of a cosmic relay race where each universe hands the baton of consciousness to the next, not arbitrarily, but deliberately, passing responsibility from one mature soul to another. And this relay isn't defined by, I would say, raw power, but by spiritual maturity, humility, and compassion. And the source of our universe is an extraordinary being whose evolutionary journey was so profound that he was selected by the previous source, entrusted to oversee our universe's spiritual evolution. But here's a fascinating twist. Source isn't God in the traditional sense. To us, Source feels divine, godlike, omnipresent. Yet, Source himself is clear. He isn't the ultimate deity humanity often envisions. Perhaps the traditional concept of God, a distant, judgmental figure, isn't quite accurate. Instead, our universe is guided by a deeply evolved consciousness, intimately involved in every aspect of our existence, yet bound by rules and responsibilities beyond human understanding. Who imparted these rules? Was it God himself? We may never know the answer to that question. And this perspective aligns intriguingly with Tom Campbell's concept of the big cheese, the governor of the larger consciousness system, which Tom Campbell calls the LCS. And like Campbell's governor, Source manages this universe meticulously, ensuring that spiritual growth and evolution continue within carefully set boundaries. Source isn't merely observing. He's directly engaged, deeply invested in the cosmic balance between light and dark, knowing full well the stakes involved. And yes, the stakes are very high. But why this eternal struggle between darkness and light? Is Source cruel for initiating such a challenging scenario? Absolutely not, some would say. The tension between dark and light is actually essential for spiritual evolution. Because without resistance, without struggle, consciousness stagnates. Imagine if you had no conflict in your life, where would you be? The profound wisdom of Source is in creating a universe where souls can truly grow and blossom, tested by adversity, yet guided by compassion. Think of a chess game where the white is the good and the black is the evil. There would be no game without the black pieces. Many of us are on the side of good, and we wonder why there is so much evil in the world. Perhaps this video may explain it. And by the way, there is a wealth of information I wish to impart about the universe. In this video, I want to particularly focus on Source because he, she, or it is the prime mover of our reality. So let's delve deeper into the uniqueness of this being Source. We'll say it's a he. His position isn't accidental. Source probably earned his role through countless lifetimes, enduring hardships, triumphs, profound joys, and deep sorrows. Experiences that sculpted his extraordinary wisdom and humility. Humility isn't just a virtue. It's the core qualification that made Source eligible to inherit cosmic responsibility. Imagine, humility, not power or ambition, was the defining trait required to guide an entire universe. And this humility ensures Source governs with fairness, compassion, and profound spiritual insight. You know, when Liz Cross asks Source why he was chosen to be the overseer of the universe, he simply replied, "Because I am humble." Still, Source holds immense power, yet his greatest strength is his restraint. Though capable of leaving our universe, and something no other soul can do in this entire universe, he chooses never to abandon his creation. And this profound loyalty stems from his own spiritual journey, a journey mirroring ours, yet expanded infinitely, probably through countless incarnations and experiences. And if this is so, he understands intimately the struggles we face because he once faced them himself. Source's commitment isn't mere duty, it's most likely born from empathy and compassion, deeply rooted in personal experience. And this concept, if accurate, could radically reshape our understanding of divinity. Source, assuming the model described by Liz Cross and thinkers like Tom Campbell holds weight, is probably not a passive overseer of reality. More likely, Source is an evolved consciousness that deeply emphasizes with the human journey, perhaps because he has lived through countless incarnations himself. The trials we face, the emotional and existential crucibles, may not be random or chaotic, but actually intentional frameworks designed to promote our spiritual evolution, based on what appears to be a deliberate replication from earlier universal models, which might serve as a proven battleground, a refined environment that's calibrated for maximum soul growth through adversity. Still, even such a complex divine architecture isn't without its opposing force. It seems that alongside Source exists what might be best described as the dark, an energy wave that stretches across universal epochs, consistently countering the intentions of light. And this dark isn't simply malevolent in a cartoonish sense. It's more strategic, more ancient, more necessary. Its presence could be part of the simulation's essential design, providing the friction, pressure, the existential tension required to accelerate soul development. And if that's true, then Source, for all his compassion and spiritual maturity, may have introduced this duality deliberately. Growth in this model is catalyzed most powerfully not in peace, but in discomfort. When beings are forced to choose over and over between light and dark, that's where diamonds are made. And if Source indeed holds this role, then the magnitude of his responsibility is staggering. He appears to operate with finite energetic capacity, crafting souls from his own essence, meaning that each new soul is both a creation and at the same time a type of sacrifice. Souls aren't manufactured in mass from surplus. They are distilled from the source itself. That suggests that every being is precious. Every human experience a sacred deployment of divine energy. Yet, we don't treat it that way here on this planet. Life is taken for granted and has been for a very long time. Humanity, therefore, isn't an afterthought of evolution. It's central to the architecture of this universal simulation. Our emotional frequency, our spiritual alignment, may be key to maintaining the delicate energetic balance in this ongoing cosmic war. The troubling insight, I have to admit, according to this model, is that the dark currently holds the upper hand. And this doesn't signal the end for us, but it is definitely a wake-up call. If this is truly a battle of consciousness, then every human thought, every feeling, every intentional act of love or despair becomes a vote, casting energy either toward Source or the opposing force. Source, despite his supposed spiritual brilliance and moral authority, doesn't operate through coercion. He needs willing allies, souls who align with light, not because they must, but because they choose to. I know I certainly choose to. And this makes our emotions not just internal states, but spiritual currencies. According to this framework, they are the very tools Source equipped us with to transmute energy. Joy, gratitude, courage, these are what feed the light. Fear, hate, despair, these empower the dark. Emotions aren't simply psychological. They're metaphysical levers in the larger architecture of universal evolution. Every choice, every heartbeat of awareness matters. And if this model is even partially true, then we are not spectators. We are cosmic participants, not pawns in the game, but partners with Source. Not merely human, but extension of the Source's own energy, embedded into a spiritual simulation designed to evolve the very fabric of reality. And this could explain why there has been such a high degree of suffering on this planet for such a very long time. When Liz asked Source who is winning the fight, the light or the dark, the answer was, not unexpectedly, the dark, and it certainly shows. Just look around us. Friends, there is much more that I want to say about this, but let's do a quick recap before I go so you understand what I'm talking about in this video. And again, I'm not saying this is the one absolute truth. Everybody has their own beliefs. I'm just presenting something that I found in my research. Number one, our universe is just one in a series of universes. Number two, each universe is created and governed by one being called Source. Number three, Source is not God or the ultimate creator, but we often associate Source with being God because all we know is this universe. Four, every universe is designed with the purpose of being a battleground between light and dark. And finally, number five, each universe ultimately ends with one winner, either the light or the dark. This is just the beginning. There is a lot more that needs to be said in upcoming videos. Hey, if you enjoyed this video, check out this video right here. And remember, I also have a second channel called Bend the Spoon, where I post unique videos on spirituality. I'll either see you there or see you here or see you soon. Take care.